Pursuant to House Resolution 287, the gentleman from Texas and a member opposed will each control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. My amendment is very straightforward. It would eliminate funding for the absolute worst performing line track, the Sunset Limited, which runs from New Orleans to Los Angeles. The Amtrak Reform and Accountability Act of 1997 required that Amtrak operate without any federal operating assistance after 2002. I have since then offered this amendment each year. Amtrak was supposed to be free of federal operating subsidy, yet despite this common sense requirement that Amtrak cease their fiscal irresponsibility and mismanagement, instead they turned to continuing this line that cost the taxpayers $405.67 for every single ticket that is bought for every single trip. That's $405.67 to subsidize the travels of passengers from New Orleans to Los Angeles, a trip that takes nearly 48 hours, assuming the train is on time. I believe that's exceedingly unlikely also because it has a terrible record of being on time. According to Amtrak's most recent monthly performance record, the Sunset Limited was only on time 42% of the time, yet 100% of the $405 was paid for the ticket. This places the Sunset Limited as one of the top 10 worst on-time routes from Amtrak's routes in its latest performance report. Perhaps, Mr. Chairman, taxpayers should be happy when the train is not running, but not running on time, and the cost to the taxpayer is prohibited. Why does it run this route when Amtrak loses an average of $41 million a year? Mr. Chairman, my amendment is simply to help Amtrak make tough decisions that they appear to be incapable of doing themselves. I think it's the first step to instilling a small measure of discipline at Amtrak. Failure to do so will only continue Amtrak along this process rather than being a north-south provider on both coasts. I hope my colleagues will join me, and certainly I know there are taxpayer advocates that believe as I do. I urge all my colleagues to support this amendment and the underlying legislation. I reserve my time.
Gentleman from Texas.